Hello everybody, this is Maria with the Wreath Meshine. It is Tuesday in Texas and the weather is really freaking cold. Really, y'all, like 20s. So I'm in the craft room today and I figure I'd just go ahead and do a recording. Since it's cold and I ain't going anywhere. Like gym, no, not today. I did it yesterday when it was 32 degrees, but not today. So anyways, y'all, I found a few of these bunny grapevine wreaths plain that I have had stored from last year. They're still good. They're $5 from Dollar Tree. Don't quote me on them having them this year, or $5 plus at the Dollar Tree. You could probably find them in other places, but I prefer to pay as little as possible for stuff. So that's the first thing. This is gonna be a bunny grapevine, but essentially I'm just adding florals and a bow. Pretty simple. Shouldn't take that long. I just want to show you the basics. I know there's people out there that have like a lot of ribbon that they need to use, and maybe I'll have a bunch of these bunnies like I do and you just want to make them and sell them. So I'm going to actually use this D. Stevens ribbon. I'm sure y'all have seen it before. It's 1.5 inch by 10 yards. And this one's a regular ribbon. It's a RGA 130007, 1.5 by 10 yards. Super glittery. And then these flower bunches are from Michael's. They were $1.99 the other day. I got 2 bunches and I grouped them together. I cut the stems with my stem cutter, but you can get a stem cutter online. I highly suggest a stem cutter. Oops, sorry y'all. Highly suggest a stem cutter for your projects, especially when you're working with these floral bushes that have the metal in the stems. Most of them do, to cut them, because otherwise you'll probably damage your wire cutters. So that's that with this one. I think they had these at decoexchange.com. You can probably get them on Amazon and other places also. I think they're probably average $100 or so. But I've had mine for a couple years now, and to me it's really worth it. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out a place to put my florals, and I'm going to do them at an angle, not straight across, which you could do that if you want, but this is how I do mine. So do them at an angle like this. Okay. And pretty much need your ribbon, your bunny grapevine wreath, pipe cleaners, some zip ties. I have the silicone finger protector. I think I got this at Dollar Tree in a pack of 2 in the craft section a couple years ago. I think they still have them, but this is just in case you have to smear your hot glue when you're working. And then to guide my pipe cleaners through the grapevine, because it's kind of thick. I have these, I don't know if you could see it well or not, these plastic needles. They're, I guess, for crocheting or yarn or something, but they're in the craft section, the knitting section, I guess, at Walmart. So you can get either this size, and they also have the bigger blue ones, which I don't usually need anything that big. So I put my pipe cleaner through and hook it and pull it through to the other side to help me guide it. And I got my scissors, wire cutters, whatever else I need. So essentially I'm just going to show you the process of doing this. Probably not going to have too much in the camera. So the first thing, after I figure out where I'm going to place my florals, like I said, you can place them wherever you want. It's up to you. I just like this side for some reason. So I chopped these down. I gathered them together. I left like minimal stem, as you can see. And I zip tied them together. And now I'm just gonna place them on the wreath, okay? So I'm gonna do a little bit of hot glue. And the hot glue, for some reason, likes this grapevine material. You just gotta find a spot on the wreath that's pretty stable. And I also, before I put the glue, you know, I spread out my florals a little bit and try and make them as presentable as possible before I go adding all the extra stuff to it. So that's part one. I'm gonna go ahead. No, actually I'll wait. I'll go ahead and let the glue dry. And while I'm letting the glue dry, I'm gonna go ahead and do a bow for it. Just make sure you have the pipe cleaners to go with your colors as much as possible, or you can get like the clear see-through cellophane looking pipe cleaner, just as easy. It'll blend in so it won't mess up your decor. Alright, so bear with me, y'all. I am gonna do a tail. And I picked the color flowers because it's a deep pink, but it's not too deep. So it still, to me, looks pretty Eastery. So I'm gonna do a 20-inch tail. 20-inch tail. I'm gonna dovetail, which I'm gonna fold my ribbon in half. I'm gonna snip it towards the end, up and away. Gonna fold it in half to figure out where, excuse me, I'll back it up a little bit. Fold it in half, gather it, put it in between the fingers of my bow maker. And you don't have to have a super long tail. It's up to you. I'm gonna do the bows that have the tails intertwined in them. So I'm gonna have a couple different tails sticking out everywhere. So I'm gonna take it to the 6-inch for the tail. And this is gonna be a little bit different of a bow than I usually make. So all I'm doing for this one is I'm gonna do 2 loops and 2 tails on each bow. So I got this tail. I'm gonna do 5 inches, I guess, for the loop. Gather it, put it in, do my pinch and twist, bring it down. And then this ribbon is mighty thick because of the glitter. So you might have to manhandle it a little bit to get it to do what you want. But after you get it in place, it should be good to go. Alright, so this last one I'm not pinching and twisting. I'm going to have one tail up, one loop down, one loop up, and the other tail down. So essentially you're going to have the loops and the bows across from each other. Okay? I'm going to switch off to the D. Stevens ribbon. Cut my tail, dovetail, fishtail, whatever you want to call it, y'all. I heard somebody call it something else the other day that was making a different kind of project. I'm like, yeah, I guess you could call it that too. Fishtail, dovetail, birdie tail, whatever you want to call it. Alright, so start on the same side, tail down. And this is just a different way I make my bow with the tails and stuff. And it looks pretty cool in the end. You just got to get to the end to see how it looks. And again, I'm going to do the same thing with 2 bows and 2 tails. This technique, I like it because I feel like you don't use as much material, especially if you're using an expensive kind of excuse me, let me cut it real quick. I like this technique with the bow making because I feel like you're not using as much material, especially if you're using an expensive kind of ribbon. There we go, ribbon. You see my florals are pretty much set on. So I'm going to do one more set of this one here. It might be a lot. I'm hoping it looks good. I haven't tried this before, y'all, so I guess if I laugh, you laugh. We all laugh together, right? Oh. I just go with it. Excuse me one sec. Gotta turn off my heater. So what I'm just trying to do at this point is fill the bow up, make it look fat enough and thick enough to where it has enough material. I don't want it looking like it's starved or anything. Let's see here. To the 5. I did another one of these earlier in more of a pastel, true Easter color, but you know, customers and clients are gonna like different things. You want to have a variety for them, because if you have the same thing, everybody's different. Some people are more like out there, like they like heavy, bright, deep colors. Other people are like quieter. They don't like stuff as pronounced. So my thing is just make something for everybody that buys from you. Worst case, you keep it for yourself and you decorate your own house. You know what I mean? So what I'm doing right now is I'm spreading out my bows, trying to get them in different places. Eventually you spread them out enough, you'll figure out what goes where, and make sure you have your 2 main tails down, because that'll confuse you a little bit too. Up, down, It's gonna look funny for a minute, but eventually you'll figure it out. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Essentially, I'm just trying to show you right now the basic concept. And feel free to add extra ribbons to it or less. It's up to you, however you want to do it. I'm sure not everybody has 10,000 spools of ribbon in their house. So I don't know how easy or hard it is these days to get materials. So use what you have. I mean, try different combinations. I mean, there's nothing wrong with experimenting. If you have bows you already made for Easter, use those. Alright, y'all. So I'm going to put my zip tie through on the right side. I'm going to gather it together here in a second. Making progress. Alright. I'm going to do like I showed you before. pointer finger and middle finger on each side of the bow maker. I'm gonna lift it up, hold it with my thumb, take this out of the way. All right, so I'm just going to gently and lightly, slightly close my zip tie, not all the way, just so I can fine tune my bow and the loops and the locations of my loops. Okay, because like I've said before, once you close your zip tie all the way, y'all, it is going to be pretty difficult to arrange things further as far as the bow. So you keep going back and forth with your finger on each side of the zip tie until you get to the point where you feel comfortable with where your loops are and spreading the colors out, so on and so forth. And when you get there, tighten it a little more, adjust a little more, pull down, try to make sure as much as possible that your loops and your bows are in the place that you want them. And when you feel everything is to your liking, then you go in the back and you tie it and force it together. Now I'm going to cut the excess zip tie. Then I'm going to get my pipe cleaner. Oh Lord. Yeah, there went that one. Oh, no. Actually, I should only need one anyways. Okay. And don't worry if you have your tails too long. You can trim them down as soon as you have the bow on your wreath, okay? So right now I'm gonna get a little bit of glue, put it in the middle of my bow on the zip tie, and then I'm gonna put my pipe cleaner, flip it over, and then I'm gonna put a little glue on the back side. Up to you if you want to do this or not. I just do this for extra security to make sure things stay in place. That's my big thing. It's making sure things stay in place. Do not come off. Do not come apart. As much as humanly possible. There's some things we can't control all the time. But as far as I'm concerned, the things I can control, when I sell something, I want it to be in the most immaculate condition possible. I do not want things coming apart. That is my number one objective. All right, so right now I'm gonna go ahead and pass the pipe cleaner on my bow back through each side of the flowers I have on the wreath, on each side of the zip tie. So I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Okay, I put the pipe cleaner through the eye of the needle. Most people may have to do this because it's kind of hard to get it through. Then I'm going to slowly dig the needle through. When you find somewhere it'll pass through. Kind of hard to do that sometimes. Bear with me. I think I got it. All right. Pass needle through. Zip tie. Pipe cleaner goes with it. Okay. So I'm gonna take it off. And then I'm gonna do it again. Come on the other side. Hope y'all can see. Let me bring it in a little bit more. Bring it in on the other side. Sneaky little spot. You're gonna have to wiggle it through probably, because it's a very tight weave on this grapevine. Pull it through and hold it there for a second. I'm gonna take the needle off I'm not gonna pull it down all the way yet, because what I'm gonna do is behind the bow, I'm gonna put some more glue, okay? Let me do that real quick. Glue's there. I'm gonna bring down, be careful not to burn yourselves. Let me adjust back out. The glue's there, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull it down. So the bow's on that spot where I glued, and now I'm just gonna go on the back and tie off. Try not to squish my bow, but I'm gonna adjust it in a second anyway. Hope everybody's doing well and safe. It is very cold in Texas, a little south of Houston, about 20 minutes south. Had a lot of stuff to do the other day as far as wrapping pipes and stuff. Fun, y'all. Alright, here we go. So as the glue is setting and drying and curing and all that stuff. My apologies, y'all, as I was just rudely interrupted by my battery dying. Okay, so anyways, let's finish this off. So here's the bunny. The bow is in place. Everything is pretty much situated. The only other thing I think I'm going to add, if you have them, is I'm going to add my signature pearl. So let me put some glue. These pearls, I think you can get them from Amazon or Dollar Tree. I just like to add the pearl because I think it makes it look fancy. But you don't have to. It's up to you. I just try and add a little extra to the wreath so it don't look so plain. But so you give that time to dry also. And like I said earlier, if you feel like your tails are too long, you can trim a little bit off. It ain't gonna hurt anything. Just try not to trim it too much because you're gonna end up having to do things over again. And that's pretty much it, y'all. This is her in a nutshell. So I hope you like today's project presentation. You know, try to do different things for y'all on different ends of the finance spectrum, because I know not everybody has unlimited funds. Neither do I. So, you know, and I know a lot of people right now are bored at home and they just want something to do. So if you have these bunnies, or they have them at your local Dollar Tree in the $5 section, pick some up and just practice, or practice your bows while you're home and you're bored. Also, if you're interested in purchasing a wreath instead of making a wreath, you can also go to my website, the Wreath Meshine, MESHINE.com. It has galleries on there, and it has links to my Etsy page, because I'll probably be posting a couple of these on Etsy for purchase. I have different things for different seasons, for different occasions, pretty much for every occasion you can think of. I'd appreciate also any nice comments, any thumbs up, any views are appreciated, comments. Please subscribe, because I come on, I try to come on at least once every other week or so with a new project, but obviously you need to have things to teach and tutorials to be able to do that. So I'm trying to come on as much as possible, but you know, things happen, y'all. Things happen. So I appreciate y'all watching today. Everybody be safe and stay warm. Please check on your neighbors to make sure they're okay, and family members, and like and subscribe. And I will see y'all soon with another wreath tutorial. Everybody stay blessed. Have a great night.